Hey kids, it's the Borderline Man here, and Happy New Year. Well, in a couple of hours at least. It's a nice and cozy December day here with, the colors of life outside. Thought I might check in and do a little bit of a summary of the year. It's been the year when I started this channel, which is, huge for me. I think I learned a lot just by making this channel. I've not only the technical things, of course, on video production, but I also learned a lot more about the condition. I had to do research. I had to, do some deep self-reflection about things and examine my inner self and so on. By making some content this improvised way, I am forced at the spur of the moment to reflect on things sometimes. And realize that sometimes, I've got an answer, and sometimes I don't. It's a good way for me to think, to speak. I can think just by sitting down and just contemplate, but I tend to do it better like this. And it's been a good learning experience in speaking in public. I am very introverted, and this is not public, but you know what I mean, just speaking in general, practicing some English and so on. And it's been a year of many various events, many great changes. The greatest change this year is, without a doubt, me going back to school and learning a profession. It's a 2-year education, so I've done a quarter of it now. Been hard. I learned a lot about myself and how I handled stress, how poorly I handled stress when I was out doing the practice term, the 6 weeks at an emergency room, which was, that was tough. I'm still suffering from it. I've got ileus, and so there's constant problems with my stomach going on. I'm not going to go into any gruesome details, but it's nasty sometimes, and I have to really think about what I eat and what I drink and so on. Alcohol is very problematic. It tends to flare it up severely to the point where I'm really worried that I will develop an ulcer. And then we don't want an ulcer, kids. That's really dangerous. I know that from first experience from being at the emergency room at a big hospital. It is lethal. So I'm not going to go and risk anything by that. By the way, I hope the image is okay. It's raining, so it will become some droplets and so on the lens, perhaps. It looks fine. And I've also went back and forth in my emotional state when it comes to my ex. As some of you know, we kind of hooked up a couple of times during this year, and sure enough, I started to feel the possibility that, hey, it might work. It might actually work. But it takes two to reach an agreement about that, and she's not interested. she sees only the bad things, and she is afraid of the good things. I mean, when we met and hang out, it was just fun and great time. I mean, really a good time. And she's not denying that, but she is focusing on what happened before. And I couldn't convince her that things have changed. I have changed. It's not that she doubts me, outspokenly at least, but I think she does. And that's understandable. I doubt myself, of course. I'm not sure how much I've changed. And if I look at this objectively, that's not the whole point either. It is also the thing that she struggles with her things, and she is possibly in many other ways a completely unsuitable partner for me. She has certain mannerisms, she's always had those, that have probably been a great factor in me developing a bad borderline. She's done things that's not okay, borderlining, really actually entering into the zone of being, adultery. What's the word? Is there a softer word? Spoken with another guy in a way that she shouldn't probably do, and so on, and those kind of things, and not really acknowledging it and understanding why it's wrong. Because I actually think she honestly thought that what she did was just friendly. She couldn't really see the things from my perspective. And that, how stupid it was, convinced me, and so on. And she is a person that's very friendly with her male friends. And that's okay in my book if you feel 100% certain about everything in your relationship. And I never did. She lied about the other guy, the one I caught her chatting with. She lied bluntly about it to me. And knowing this has always placed a bit of distrust in my heart that I have to remind myself of. Now, when I accidentally realized that I've got feelings for her still, and I still do at this very moment here. I know I got. It's a bit hidden and masked by the fact that I've also got really annoyed with her letting us fall back into this. She could have said no. She knew that she should have understood that I was a lot more sensitive than she was, and that perhaps she shouldn't have encouraged any form of meeting up with us, hanging out and so on like we did. But hey, it's on me as well. I'm an adult. But still, it annoyed me that she let it go to that point again. And then just when I reached out on an emotional level and said, hey, I got feelings for you still, she freaked out. That pissed me off, and still does. I feel like I'm bitter. That's the word I'm seeking. I'm actually bitter. The ugly bitter, that you never want to feel. And I'm working my best to get rid of it. But it's also a very good medicine to lose some of those feelings that I have for her. I want to lose those feelings. I want to reach a point when I look at her as an ex and a friend. That's all. Nothing else. With no other interest in mind. I want to reach that point, and I think it's healthy to get pissed and mad and bitter on the way, and not just forgive and so on. It doesn't work like that. You need to process, you need the pendulum to swing a great distance for it to reach a safe spot in the middle. That's just how it works with emotions, I guess. You can't reach those safe spots slowly and comfortable otherwise. We can, maybe, I shouldn't say never, but it's a lot more difficult when you are a person suffering with borderline, because emotions are very problematic and often very strong and often completely overshadowing any logic and everything in your mind. So we have agreed to not see each other. I did it so, with great pain and reluctance. It felt really hard to saying that to a friend that you have feelings for also. Hey, we can't see each other again. And from the looks of it, that's how it looks as far into the future as I can see. We can't risk seeing each other and, invoking old feelings again and so on, because we are very attracted to each other when we meet. That's just the thing. We are very compatible on that point. And we can't risk anything until it is obvious that we are ready. And when I mean we, I'm especially referring to myself, because I must feel ready as well. So, knowing that we can't hook up again, we can't end up in bed together again. If we do it, it's going to be problematic again. It's not going to help. It's not necessarily will make things worse, but it's not going to help. Let's put it that way. And in my process of actually trying to move on, I once again connected on the dating apps and started chatting with two nice ladies. I have no idea if it leads to anything. I think I have a date soon with one of them. That doesn't necessarily mean we are good for each other or it will work, but she's interesting and she looks cute. I know for a fact that I will probably not get very smitten easily. I usually don't, and especially not now when there's another person occupying my mind that I have to get rid of. That's the problem here, and that's the thing I learned from our breaking up that I basically couldn't do. Time didn't heal anything, really. Things did. And with things, I mean things like this, like me chatting with other girls, like me getting pissed at my ex. Those kind of things helps me heal, not just time itself, because time just leaves me time to dwell on things and think about things in a way I shouldn't. I know that now, and oh God, don't let me fall back into the trap again, no matter what, because at this point in time in life, we are, my ex and me, we are very incompatible, objectively so. There's nothing questionable about it. We are a hedonistic couple that loves each other's company very much and rarely fight about anything. But when we do, it's about serious things deeply in ourselves, where things are really bad in our relationship on a goal-oriented level and so on. Things that matters a lot in a relationship. And I don't feel happy with her when we are not together. When we are together, I feel good, because usually things are great then. It's the time apart that reveals that there is an issue here, because I am unable to feel secure with her. That has not left anything. I mean, this was a long time ago it happened. It was back in 2017. So you realize how long it's been going on, this ghost in my mind. And I said I forgave her for it, but I probably never did, because each time we had an argument, it came up again, and I felt insecure. It did. So I realize now I will probably never forgive her for it. And I must hold on to that thought, because that will make me move on. Nothing else. Not just time itself. Time itself does not heal people. The thing that heals people are progress in various mental ways, where you move on. And those things can take, time isn't a factor there, but it's not the factor. It can take weeks, it can take months, it can take years. And that alone tells me that it's not to do with time itself. It has to do with what happens. If I find a girl that absolutely, allow myself to open up and feel, it can heal me greatly. It can help me move on. I also know if I expose myself and open my heart, and there's this girl that I start to like, and things don't work out, then there's the problem also. Then I will most likely start thinking about my ex again, and the things we had and lost, and yada yada, everything like that. Because that's what I did. I did it during the spring of 2024. I tried going out on dates, and it didn't work because, various things, and then I just started thinking about my ex again. That's the problem, kids. That's the real problem. You go out on dates, and most dates won't work, and you'll end up starting to be feeling sorry for yourself and thinking about things you have lost, and that's a huge enemy for a borderline mind. And that's one thing I will try my best not to do during 2025. Is my New Year's resolution, basically. I will not allow myself to fall back into thinking about things that were, and so on. I will constantly look forward as a goal. Then I know very well I can't control my mind, but it's a goal. I will set this goal and constantly remind myself of this. So I'm starting this New Year's Eve alone for the first time in forever. It's a simple fact that I spent all my New Year's Eves in the last 9 years with my ex, and in the previous 9 years I spent all my New Year's Eves with my ex before that for 14 years. And then I can't really remember, but I've basically never been alone for New Year's Eve, and this time I am, and I'm going to spend it with my old parents, which is not great fun, but at least I'm not going to be completely alone. I will probably just go online and in the evening and maybe play a game. I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream yet. I haven't made up my mind. It's a possibility. I don't know yet. And I hope you guys are all moving on from your problems towards solutions and a better life, whatever it is and might be. And don't just sit and wait for things to get better, because they don't. Time on itself does nothing. People need to do things for things to change. That's how it works. It's bitterly cold, and I've been speaking way too long, and basically all about myself, feeling a bit of doom and gloom on this last day of 2024, but also feeling a bit of a hope. Guys, I have a date in probably 2 weeks' time. We couldn't find any empty space before that. But I think I have a date in, well, not 2 weeks time, the next weeks, I mean, and that's great. I have no idea if things will click, as they say. I hope they will, and so on. And yeah, so it's Happy New Year from me here in the southern Sweden, and until the next time I post something or do a live, have a good one.